why did you decide to become a teacher?
Alright, so how did I decide to become a teacher? My story isn't like a lot of people's stories. I remember when I started the program, lots of people would say things like, oh, I wanted to be a teacher all my life, and I used to set up my stuffed animals in my bedroom and teach the bears how to read. And I was never like that. My bachelor's degree is in journalism, and then I took a year off after that, and I worked at a Head Start program. And then I got it in my head that I was going to go to grad school, and I actually decided that I wanted to go to grad school in administration of justice, and I was going to work with juvenile delinquents. And then I did a semester of that, and I was like, I think I want to get kids before they get to that point where they're in jail and their future is bleak. So then I decided to go into teaching, and there it went from there.
Okay, what about some good things about being a teacher?
Good things about teaching. I know. How quickly I fell in love with my kids. It was almost like instant. It was like it came into the classroom, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are my 23 kids for the whole year. So that was pretty cool. Also, one thing that really stands out from the first year of teaching is how I would be in the middle of a lesson, and I would think to myself, oh my God, I'm teaching these kids. Like, look at me. I'm up here and they're listening to me, and I often had those little aha moments throughout the year.
What didn't they tell you about your first year of teaching?
So what they didn't teach me before my first year of teaching, I don't think they taught me how exhausted I was gonna be. I remember that first couple weeks, first month, I would go home and I would like sleep from the time I got home until like 8 o'clock, and then I would get up and I would eat dinner, and then I would just go back to sleep, because it was just having to quote unquote entertain and teach 23 kids every day, first graders at that, was just mentally taxing. And I remember my throat always being super dry at the end of the day. You don't realize how much saliva you use teaching kids all day long. So I don't think I was really prepared for how exhausting it would be. Because even when you're student teaching, you're still like in this bubble, and you don't have to do a lot of the extra administrative type things that you have to do once you become the actual teacher. So yeah, it was pretty tiring.
How was your second year different than your first, and what are you looking forward to in your third?
So from my first year to my second year, I actually went from first grade to second grade. So I looped up. I didn't keep my entire class, but I had about 8 of the same kids for 2 years. So obviously I had to change my curriculum going from one grade to another. The biggest change, I think, for me, from 1 year to the second year would be like my confidence level. I was sort of like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing here. I think I can handle this. So I'm excited about the third year to be in the same grade. So now I can just sort of tweak what I was doing before and try to make everything better. I would say that I think my biggest change that I made from the first to second year would be how I dealt with parents. I was a little more confident with dealing with parents the second year. It's hard when you are younger than most of your parents, and to have to tell people older than you, oh, this is what you should be doing with your child. So I think that's probably been the most difficult thing that I had to work with for my first and second